What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well, and it's time for part two of my Seattle Seahawks off-season path series. Now that I finished talking about all the outgoing free agents for the Seattle Seahawks, I want to talk about what I would do if I were in charge and basically lay out where that would leave the finances of the team if they went my way. This video is being powered by BetUS. If you want to see the first part of this series, go back and watch it. I posted it a couple of weeks ago, still on the channel. And basically, that video got us to the point where we had freed up all the cap space that we could free up. We extended some players, we cut some players, we traded a player. We basically did all the stuff that I think makes sense to do with the Seattle Seahawks to get cap space. Now we start using that cap space. And I've listed out the potential, or in some cases likely, cap impacts that those signings will have to get an idea of what we would have left after this stuff is over. So again, if you want to see what I did in the previous video, then go watch the previous video. I'm not going to recap the whole thing right now, but this is where we left off. I had created about 53 million in cap space, and that was from a starting point where we were 25 or so million over the cap. So we cleared plenty of cap space, and now we have to do something with it. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this actually doesn't affect the cap space, I'm extending Charles Cross. And remember, it's an extension. So the fourth year of his contract that he is still on can stay in place. It doesn't necessarily have to, but generally speaking, most teams will allow that fourth and sometimes fifth year to just sit on the new contract as it was. So Charles Cross's fourth year cap hit is like 6.8, 6.9 million. I'm extending him, and I'm going to go ahead and keep that cap hit where it is. You could theoretically do something with it. You can make it go up or down, but I don't think you need to. And I think that giving Charles Cross that, I would estimate, 4-year, $104 million extension with that first-year cap hit still staying low is well in line with what pretty much every other team does. So no effect on the cap. I am extending Cross. I'm open to extending Abe Lucas if the medicals are good with him, but I don't know if they are, so I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm open to extending Kobe Bryant, but I'm not going to say I'm actually going to do it now. So from here, let's keep going with the outgoings. All right, so first, I am re-signing Ernest Jones, and I do have a couple reservations about it that a lot of people on this channel do not share, but he's very good. He improved the defense massively when he showed up, and I am not looking to try to find another linebacker after what we went through last year unless I absolutely have to. So you take a look at the Patrick Queen contract he signed with the Ravens, or excuse me, the Steelers, and you assume that Ernest Jones is going to get a little bit less than Patrick Queen. You can get that first-year cap hit down to about $6 million. So that's what I have right now. First-year cap hit for Ernest Jones, about $6 million on a 3-year 36 or 3-year $39 million contract should be right around there. So that's $6 million you're taking out of your cap space. And before we go any further down this, I want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS. Super Bowl is in a week now, and you can get on over there and bet on all kinds of fun stuff with the Super Bowl. You can bet on the game, you can bet on halves, bet on quarters, bet on point totals, bet on money line, bet on the coin toss. You can do all kinds of cool stuff over there. Get on over there, use promo code YouTube150 to get 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% deposit bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. There's going to be baseball soon. Basketball's ongoing. We got hockey going. You can bet on all kinds of sports stuff. Plenty of stuff to keep you entertained. Check out BetUS, best online sports book in the business. Get to some sports betting. All right, so back to the off-season path that I've laid out. After Ernest Jones, most of the stuff we have to do at this point is pretty minor. but let's go over it anyway. I am re-signing Artie Burns. I want his veteran presence. I want his reliability. I want somebody that doesn't make me feel extremely uneasy whenever I see them out there on the field, because I am trading Woolen. And spoiler alert, I'm not keeping Trey Brown. So Artie Burns gets the minimum 1.255, so call it 1.26. That's the minimum for a player of his level of experience. And I think that that's pretty reasonable because he's a decent enough player. He's definitely worth that. And then I am tendering Josh Joby at the right of first refusal restricted level, which is about 3.2 million. So that is the investment I'm making to make sure my corner room is stable. Not necessarily good, but stable. And then I can try to make it good in the draft and free agency. But for now, I'm doing this to keep it stable. Maybe at some point I can save a little bit of money by pulling the tag and re-signing Joey to a smaller deal, or maybe letting Artie Burns fall through to the practice squad. But for the moment, I'm going to go ahead and put the tags on them and assume that's what it takes to keep them. Maybe down the line I can save a little bit of money here. We'll see. I'm keeping Jalen Darden. Want my kick returner, punt returner. Only 1.1 million. I don't think it's a hard decision, and I don't think anybody's going to outbid him for us. I don't think we're going to get into a bidding war for Jalen Darden. So, keeping him as well. Cody White, I'm keeping him. Maybe this is a guy who you can let slip through to the practice squad and save money on, but I think 1.03 million is pretty fair for him. I think that he's an interesting, talented receiver. He's shown some nice things, and even if he's only a special teamer, 1.03 million is not hard to earn in this league. So I am keeping him. I'm going to also keep Josh Ross. I think McDonald likes him. I think McDonald sees something with him, and our linebacker room is going to need a little bit of stability because right now, even after you re-sign Jones, it's very thin. So that's another guy you might be able to get on the practice squad, save several $100,000. But for now, I'll just go with the 1.03 minimum for him. And that lands us at $39.5 million in cap space still. And again, you might be able to get this down a little bit more. You might be able to save a little bit of money on a Joby contract. Maybe you give Joby 1 year, $2 million instead. If he can't do better anywhere else, then you can do that. Maybe you get Artie Burns on the practice squad. Maybe you get Cody White and Josh Ross on the practice squad. So you could end up squeezing this up to like 41, even 42 million pretty reasonably. But assuming you do have to shell out to keep these guys and you put them on your active 53-man roster, 39.5 is still a pretty good place to be because now we're ready to go. Now we can just go into outside free agency, find players from other teams that can help us, and spend most of this money on them. We will have to spend money on our draft picks. We will have to spend money on undrafted free agents. We will have to spend a little bit of money on the practice squad. So not all of this money can be spent on outside free agents, but some of it can. Most of it can. I'll take that. I'll take $40 million. No problem. All right, let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later. Thank you to BetUS for powering this video. Check them out. Go Hawks, and see you guys soon.